Hi guys, this is Cheryl slash Nana, and I was gonna wait until I had like a clear, uh, that I wasn't stuffed, I didn't have a stuffy nose, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. And if you hear noise, that's either my netbook thinking or the dog whining in the background. And I do owe you guys like a regular video, and I'll get out my video camera and do one here in a couple of days. But I wanted to do this one before we're almost at the end of Nano, so I wanted to get this done and just do a quick writing update. If you guys don't know how I do it, I I set up my Scrivener with the year, and you could see the total here for 2014, and then I just go I put the months in, and that's how I do it. And let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, where did I go? See, there's 2015, and I'm writing much faster than I was last year. And I've got doing pretty good for April. I always mark which months are nano, and I do this. If you haven't seen how my Scrivener is set up, I do a daily writing, and sometimes I used to write a lot more, sort of free writing to get started, but now I just I go, eh, I haven't done as much. I need to get back into it. I also used to do like a daily morning pages slash gratitude journal, and I need to get back into that. But you see now there's not very many in my daily word count for Nano because I haven't been doing those things. Um, and you see, I'm slow to start. I was very slow to start, and I think that was a 5K day that turned into 10, maybe. And I just jot little notes. I keep everything in here, and then I um, put it into my drafts. Whatever draft I'm working on, I will copy it from my daily writing and put it into the draft. And that way my daily writing is always pretty accurate as far as word count. And I think that's all I was going to show you. This little netbook is getting old now. It's really full. The memory is much. I mean, it's always been slow, but it's getting really slow. And yeah, I'll put little notes from things I read, just things to remember. This nano I had, let's see if I can scroll up. I don't know why it's pausing when I scroll. 1, 2, 3 big days out of the month. And I normally don't do these big days unless it's nano. And this is all panic writing. Those panic writing I was telling you about where I was trying to solve problems, and you just write a scenario for your novel as fast as you can, and something different from what draft you already have, and just write as fast as you can from beginning to end, and see what you come up with at the end. Like just go, like just completely pants it and see what you come up with. And I don't know if I have my outline in here. Yeah, I don't have it in April, and I don't want to look for it because it's already really slow and lagging. But yeah, I was super productive for 2015 because I was I was very motivated to unstick myself from and solve the problems that I've been avoiding for quite some time. All the problems from last year that I just didn't attack. These are all like why I have so many words is because I um, just really, really attacked it and re-outlined. And outlining, it doesn't really help me write a lot, but it does help me think about the story as a whole, the big picture of the story. And that's why I'm constantly going back to an outline to just help me refocus everything. And then I'm sort of experimenting. Let's see if my computer will scroll. How much time do I have left? So I experiment with different titles. I used to call this Frost Smoke, and now sort of working title Frostbound. And I try different titles, and then I put in my scene and sequel, and I'm gonna try that. And these would be like chapter, half chapter. Hush, Mr. T. My dog is making noise. And yeah, chapter, half chapter. Hold on one second. Oops. Be quiet. Uh-oh. I broke the thing. I was trying to tell the doggy to be quiet. Okay, I don't know how far I went in here. I don't know what's opening. My netbook's gone crazy. So I'm experimenting with this, with each of these, like, either a chapter or half chapter, and then doing the 8 sequence. How far down am I? Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm just trying. And then where's my other draft? So that's empty, that draft. I don't know where my other draft is. I moved it when I was compiling. Where is it? So it should be up here. This was the draft that made me have a little panic. No, this is not it, is it? Yeah, this was the draft that I did that needed the big chop here, and these also were too long. Because when you fast draft, you should assume that whenever it's actually polished, that it's going to be twice as long. From a fast draft to polished draft, it's going to be twice as long. So you can see that's too long. These are too long. Like, this one would maybe be okay, but these are too long. That's going to be really, really long. And this, of course, is like that one was the one that was like 150 pages or something ridiculous. I don't even know what it was when I put it in Word. And then, yeah, some of them were missing. So I don't even know where my draft is. I put it in Word and like I don't know where it is in Scrivener anymore. This thing is full of drafts like that. Yeah. It could even be in here. I sometimes bury my drafts in weird places because I don't want to look at them. But anyway, this video is long, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing. Where's April? In my crazy giant massive nano folder. It's like probably gonna be, by the time I'm done with it, I'm sure it'll be like 100, like more than 1,000,000 words, I'm sure. Just trying to figure out ideas and stuff. And I don't ever, if there's a major problem in the draft, what I do is I recognize the problem is there, but then I don't really work that hard to find a solution. And that's what I was doing last year, was like I knew what my major problems were, but I wasn't really attacking them. I was still trying to preserve that draft. I was like married to that draft and I couldn't let it go. And so this year has just been about just like chop everything that's not working and try something else. And that's how I wound up fast drafting. Just chop, 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 and just solve problems like crazy. Don't be married to any draft at all. Not be married to any words. If you have a major plot hole or you have a major heavy part of your, where it's word heavy, you have to be brave and cut that. And that took me a while to get up the bravery to know I had the words to do it and I could get the words back. And I just got lost. Oh, yeah, so that's why if you look here, it's like 200,000 words already for 2015, but if you compare that, it'll take a minute to open the side, but yeah, to for the whole of 2014, and then like 2013 was even less than that because I'd been doing this system since 2000, like half of 2013. So if you could see how much I've written compared to 2014, where I just let myself get stuck. You know, all of my nano drafts were kind of like trying to solve problems, and they were sort of not successful at solving those problems, although they did eventually give me more, like a ton more subplots and world building and whatnot, but they didn't really solve, they never solved the first book problems, and ever since I wrote this, I kind of wrote the middle book first, and I have never solved my first draft problems. I mean, my first book problems, which is like, how do you set up everything and then, but still have a story? And it's not, that's really difficult. It's like you have all this world building, you have all these characters, and you have everything that you want to get started, but when you actually sort of go and read it and you realize how, even though you're not really info dumping and you're not really doing any backstory, you are just setting up too much. You're just setting up and setting up and setting up, and there's no real action or story. It's just a lot of setup. And so my new draft has a magical solution to that, um, which I'm not going to say. Some of you, I think I've said what it was. I think I said it in a right chat. But yeah, my character really wants to use magic in this one instead of waiting half the book to get like a spark of magic. Now she just has the magic, and she uses a particular spell, and that sort of gets the action going much earlier, other than spending the entire first book like learning magic and, you know, developing her powers. Now she just has them at the beginning, which is kind of, it just solved it solved problems, but then on the other hand, it kind of created problems because there was a lot to fill in at the end that was now at the beginning. So that was a problem. So my ending is winding up different than what it was before. So every time you fix something, you kind of create another problem. And then you have to attack that problem. Figure out how to. It's just like one thing or another, especially if you have something that's really, really, where you're setting up the whole book and you have to think like, how is this going to impact this other plot line in the next book, and then this other plot line, and are you setting up those plot lines? It's just a lot to think about, and that's where the kind of, I get my best ideas when I'm just fast drafting, and then I get other ideas where I kind of fill in the blank, so to speak, when I'm outlining. And I still have never been able to write to an outline, and I don't think I will be able to do that even as I'm doing this little system that I did here. I'm going to try it with the scene and the sequels, even though I don't know what I wrote there. I think I wrote sequences. But yeah, that's supposed to be scene and sequel. And I'm going to try that. But I think I wrote the. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. That's like, I'm going to try it and then I'll talk about it. But that's it. I hope everyone's having a good NaNoWriMo. I always do better at the end. I'm always like the last one to finish at midnight. So if you're behind, just keep going. Good luck, everybody.